The photograph I'm holding is of Lieutenant Joseph Stevenson Hardy, who served with the 1st Battalion of the Border Regiment. And Joe came from Kirkoswald in Cumberland. He was one of 8 brothers, and the other seven served in the armed forces. 2 of his older brothers joined the Border Regiment, and the rest, who hadn't joined before the outbreak of war, joined during the Second World War. And Joe joined the regiment in 1933, served with them in Northern Ireland, near Belfast, in Catterick, and out in Palestine before the war. And in 1939 he was the signal sergeant of the 1st Battalion, went with it to France, came out via Dunkirk, and then when the battalion converted to being a glider-borne unit in 1st Airborne Division, Joe had got commissioned. And he went back to his old battalion and became their signals officer. It's quite unusual to be signals sergeant and then commissioned and stay in the same unit. He served in North Africa, went to Sicily and Italy, and then in September 1944 he flew with his unit to Arnhem in Holland, where during the course of the battle he was awarded the Military Cross for repairing phone lines and maintaining communications under fire, and was fortunately one of the 290 or so who managed to get back across the Rhine at the end of the battle on the night of the 25th of September. The main thing that we have as a relic of Joe's, he emigrated to Australia in the early 1950s, so spent the rest of his life there. But he passed on his field service message pad, his signal message pad, to the museum. And it's a simple message pad. We've still got the carbon copy of the message that he wrote during the Battle of Arnhem. And he wrote what would be described as a spoof message. They had 2 pigeons, in spite of all the radio kit, which didn't work very well. But the signal section carried 2 pigeons. I think they released 1 bird because they hadn't got enough food. And he wrote this spoof message with comments like, great beard growing competition in the unit, haven't decided the winner, using as many German weapons as British, several German tanks lying around the perimeter but not causing us any problems, and Dutch tobacco reasonable but rather stringy, and other such comments. Tore the top coffee off, put it in the little tube on the pigeon's leg that they hadn't released, and the bird flew off. And I'm sure everybody who saw the bird flew off during the battle thought that this is never going to get back to England, but the bird duly got back to its lodge at headquarters of British 1st Airborne Division at Grantham in Lincolnshire, and brought the message home. It's just an amazing thing. The last day of the Battle of Arnhem for the British and Polish troops that were there, 20th of September, and they'd taken an absolute hammering, and this little relic of the battle, which injects a little bit of humour, I suppose, we have as a surviving piece of archive in our records. And it was lovely to meet Joe. I met him when he came over, I think it was in 1994. He came over from Australia to attend the 50th anniversary commemoration of the Battle of Arnhem at Arnhem in Holland. And there's a commemoration there every year, just as there will be this year for the 75th. And he managed to visit his 2 older brothers who still lived in just west of here, and other friends that he'd served with the fire service with in the northeast in the late 40s. So a lovely man to meet, incredibly humble, didn't think anything really of the Military Cross that he was awarded for gallantry. He just said, well, I was around at the time and did what I did. But when you read the citation of what he was awarded it for, he was really quite something. So a seasoned soldier, a wonderful guy to be able to meet, and it's great that we have this particular relic, not just of the Battle of Arnhem, but with this very personal link to him.